Hello and welcome to the Crowley ISD PLC Curriculum Preview. I am Haley Veron, the Elementary Math Coordinator.
And I am Megan Dixon, the Secondary Math Coordinator. We look forward to working with teachers and instructional leaders throughout the school year.
Please feel free to communicate with us any questions or for additional support.
In this video, we will identify curriculum hotspots and provide real-time instructional strategies that will include the Math Bowtie method, At the Board, and Fundamental 5 strategies. At the end of this video, teachers will complete the PLC for the Math PLC for Targeted Readiness Standard 4.2b. The we will and I will statements shown are examples of how to frame a lesson as listed in the Fundamental 5.
Unit 1, Place Value of Whole Numbers and Decimals. Unit 2, Addition and Subtraction of Whole Numbers and Decimals. And Unit 3, Multiplication of Whole Numbers are taught during the first 6 weeks. Please pause for a moment to review the Unit 1 Local Assessment Blueprint. As you can see, 9 instructional days will be utilized for Unit 1. The district has allowed for 2 days at the beginning of the 6 weeks to allow for beginning of the year procedures. August 27th through September 9th are instructional days for Unit 1. The Unit 1 local assessment will be available for printing purposes on September 8th, and the unit should be assessed on September 10th. As per the local assessment guidelines, teachers are to administer unit assessments within 3 school days upon completion of the unit. Please pause for a moment to review the Unit 2 local assessment blueprint. 7 instructional days will be utilized for Unit 2. September 11th through the 19th are instructional days for Unit 2. The Unit 2 local assessment will be available for printing on September 18th, and the unit should be assessed on September 22nd. Please pause for a moment to review the Unit 3 local assessment blueprint. 8 instructional days will be utilized for Unit 3. September 23rd through October 2nd are instructional days for Unit 3. The Unit 3 local assessment will be available for printing on October 1st, and the unit should be assessed on October 3rd. Please keep in mind that teachers are to administer unit assessments within 3 school days upon completion of the unit. Materials teachers will need are the Unit 1 IFD, Organizing Instruction using the TEKS Standard Types document, and PLC for the Math PLC document, and green, yellow, and blue highlighters.
At this time, we will be using the organizing instruction using the TEKS Standard Types document. This is part of the what of a PLC and will help establish a direction. For the purpose of today's PLC curriculum preview, we will be using the Unit 1 IFD titled Place Value of Whole Numbers and Decimals. At this time, please read the TEKS on pages 10 through 36 of the IFD. As you review the TEKS, highlight in yellow the supporting standards and highlight the readiness standards in green. All remaining standards are process standards and will be highlighted in blue. If necessary, please refer to the organizing instruction using the TEKS Standard Types document to review the description that each standard's role in learning will play. Take note that blue process standards will fall into one of 2 basic categories: how students access learning or how students demonstrate learning. Please take a moment to complete this task. Now use the highlighted IFD to place each standard in the corresponding color-coded graphic organizer. Please take a moment to review the placement of each TEK. Notice for this unit there is only 1 readiness standard with 6 additional supporting standards.
In 4th grade, the process standards are dual-coded in approximately 76% of the STAR assessed items. This diagram helps illustrate that when planning for instruction, it is vital that the concepts be taught in connection with process standards. Students use the mathematical processes to acquire and demonstrate mathematical understanding. The tools to know process standards act as a stimulus for students by providing strategies and structures students use to access learning. Some mathematical examples include the use of manipulatives, number lines, base 10 blocks, etc. The ways to show process standards provide an opportunity for students to demonstrate understanding and communicate and application of learning. As part of the PLC process, the what, we will discuss our hotspot identified using a heat map. For the first 6 weeks, the curriculum preview will target 4.2b. This concept was selected for the first 6 weeks because even though it is not red or orange, it is the only readiness standard taught during the first 6 weeks that had previous STAR data, and this standard is only taught in Unit 1 and is not addressed again later in the year. Please keep in mind the other hotspots shown in this heat map will be targeted when the skills align with the year at a glance. Based on the heat map displayed, please pause and discuss. What does the data tell us about 4.2b? Based on your knowledge from previous or current observations, what are your predictions of student mastery for the TEKS reference during the 2014-2015 school year? Now let's focus specifically on the hotspot. As you can see, this is a readiness standard. This standard is part of Category 1, Numerical Representations and Relationships, which makes up approximately 30% of the STAR Blueprint assessment. Please take a moment to pause the video to look on pages 16 and 17 of the Unit 1 IFD and review the standard and unit level specificity.
The second part of the PLC process is the so what, which addresses the implications and also gives teachers the chance to reflect upon teaching practices. At this time, we will pause for small group purposeful talk to discuss SEED questions, both of which are attributes of the Fundamental 5. During this time, focus specifically on the previously identified skill 4.2b. The questions for discussion are: what concepts did students learn in the previous grade to prepare them? This can be found in the unit overview of the IFD. Also in the unit overview, look at how the student will use that concept in subsequent grades. Will the way you teach it help prepare students for future learning? In the Underdeveloped Concepts and Misconceptions section of the IFD, what underdeveloped concept plays a role in student success of the targeted skill? Also, what misconceptions deter students from being successful? From the listed vocabulary, which terminology will play a key role to ensure mastery? And last, how have you taught this content in the past and how will you teach it differently this year? Please keep in mind that small group purposeful talk about the learning typically lasts between 30 seconds to 3 minutes per question. Please pause the video at this time to allow for discussion.
The Now What piece of the PLC curriculum preview starts with using the PLC for the Math PLC page as a tool for creating lessons. Classroom instruction will move to a higher level of understanding, as well as offer opportunities for students to transfer information. Take time now to discuss what stimulus could be used to address 4.2b. For today's purpose, we have selected the use of manipulatives. Let's review the verbs in the SC. Which thinking activities will match the rigor for this level of Bloom's? Now discuss 2 to 5 thinking opportunities for students to demonstrate how they will process the information. This will occur every 8 to 12 minutes during the whole group instruction. Please pause to complete this task. After reviewing the readiness standard, we have selected the 3 thinking strategies: justify the solution, look for a pattern, and communicate. Look at the evidence of learning column. Discuss and select an appropriate product can be used to show evidence of student learning which matches the rigor of our hotspot T. Questions to think about when selecting the evidence of learning. How will students demonstrate their thinking? How will we know when students have mastered the concept? Once you have selected an end product or evidence of learning, you will use high-yield instructional strategies to support student learning. From the Instructional Strategies column, we will demonstrate the Math Bow Tie instructional strategy as well as at the board, both of which are examples of a cooperative learning structure. This is not an exhaustive list of all instructional strategies. Please feel free to choose other high-yield instructional strategies. The next slides will provide videos demonstrating the bow tie method and at the board.
Here is an example of students using the bow tie method.
Working in pairs, students situate their desks so that they are facing each other. On chart paper, each pair draws the outline of a bow tie. Teachers can also prepare this in advance and laminate it for future use. The teacher then assigns a word problem for the students to solve. Each student will first work alone on his or her side of the bow tie. After this practice, partners discuss their work. How did you get the answer to the problem and reach a consensus on their answers, teaching each other along the way?
How'd you do that?
I subtracted straight down.
Did you borrow because of the board?
Oh, no, I forgot about that. Thank you.
In the center of the bow tie, students write their consensus answer. Another cooperative learning strategy, very similar to the bow tie method, is called At the Board. This short clip will demonstrate this strategy in action inside a Crowley ISD classroom.
Another student-led technique I like to use is called At the Board. I have half the students go up to the board and work the problems. The other half stays at their desk and works on the slides. After they complete the problems, they pair up and discuss their problem-solving techniques and reasoning. This enhances vocabulary and mathematical computation.
So you see anything left over here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? What do you have? What number do you have?
Benefits of the cooperative learning structures are that after these instructional strategies have been implemented during the whole group instruction time, they can be used as a center activity. This is when students can also begin to compete against each other to build fluency in their computation. These strategies enable teachers to move into facilitative, feedback-giving roles and rove around the room as needed. Standing just about anywhere, teachers can easily hear students' conversations and see their thinking evolve. After working in this format, students are likely to be better prepared to advance to independent work. These methods incorporate working in the power zone, small group purposeful talk about the learning, and opportunities to recognize and reinforce effort from the fundamental 5. Another integral part of the Now What is intervention. Take time now to discuss the following questions and what they may look like on your campus. How will we provide students with additional time and support in a timely, directed, and systematic way when students experience difficulty? How can we enrich the learning of students who are already proficient?
We appreciate you participating in the PLC Curriculum Preview. When you plan on implementing the bow tie instructional strategy or At the Board, please invite us in as we would love to see the classroom implementation. If you have suggestions for future curriculum previews, please submit ideas to haley.veron@crowley.k12.tx.us. Also, I would like to hear from you if you have an instructional strategy that you would like to showcase in upcoming videos. Finally, please be sure to submit a copy of the PLC for the Math PLC document and organizing instruction using the TEKS standard types to the appropriate campus designee.
Thank you, and we look forward to serving you.